you looking up tonight? Mowing under the moonlight. Never thought to let it go. Soul searching out of your window. Giant eyes, never sleep unless your head's by mine. Holding on to what we call divine. Do you think we're running out of time? Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Daylight rushes in over your emerald eyes. Guess that means that we're all out of time. Like a dream, you only come out at night. Am I crazy? Watch the sun as it's fading. Can't believe I'm waiting around on you. So complicated. I thought that you would leave it, yet here we are under the moon. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side. Too late to stay, too dark for you to head home. Lay here with me, we'll watch another episode. Don't say goodnight. Stay by my side.
Good afternoon, everybody. Apologies for being late. This should be Touchline Talk at 2. It's actually 3. That is my bad. There are many things going on today. Please forgive me. I'm here now. We'll be here for the next 90 minutes or so. Welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk with your boy LNobbins. What's that of? Hard to see exactly when the stream will be ready because of the timer design. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to see. I'll be quite honest. I don't think it's that hard to see. Why is my chat moved? That's upsetting. Oh, it's because I did an update and I've not amended my settings. You always have to deal with the chat being slightly off skew today. There will be a stream tonight, Yanko. Yes, absolutely. Little bit later than usual. It might be closer to 9 o'clock on the Twitch tonight, but we will be going live on Twitch. We'll be doing Football Manager at around 9 p.m, taking Cork City to glory. Yeah, that is the wrong button that I've just pressed there. But yeah, it's twitch.tv/LNobbins if you'd like to join us for that. In today's installment of Touchline Talk, I wanted to, of course, we need to talk about a little bit more about the fallout from the Liverpool game. Let's glaze that performance a little bit more. Are City on the right path? I mean, they are, but specifically, what has happened this season, and what's the thing that Pep has done specifically, which it's very frustrating. I did mention it in my analysis video, but I had to re-record that video because the first one I did, I kept this microphone on, and in addition to that microphone over there, so there was this horrible reverb that I just could not edit out. So, and I realised after that, I was like, damn it, I didn't actually mention that. And I thought that was, I thought that was a really nice point to make. Sadly, not, which was a frustrating thing. Yes, war and reactivism, absolutely, Sarthak, absolutely. How are we all doing today, though, guys? I appreciate I'm an hour late. I apologise for that. As I say, there are many things happening in the background. Hello, Yanko. Got Danny Boy. We've got Olive, we've got Nintendo. Hello, Olive. We've got Cams. Yes, there will be Twitch tonight around 9. Mr. Jeremy Nob. I don't know what that means, Sarthak, but okay. Hello, it's Lofi. Long-time fan. Love that from you. It's Lofi. Hello, Musty. Love you too. You know how we're back? There are talks about Pep leaving end of the season. He won't build a team this exciting and leave like that. This team keeps him young. I hope so. Hello, Ruhan. Yes, Musty. Fenway says, can we spend the whole 90 minutes talking about Liverpool fans whinging incessantly about the refs as the reason they lost? We could do if you'd like. If you'd like to, Fenway. Would you like to do that? What are your thoughts on reports about Pep leaving? There's always a report about Pep leaving. I don't know. Isn't his contract that he's here next year and the year after? I don't believe that Pep will not at least see out his contract, and it wouldn't even surprise me if there's a little extension in there, because we know that Pep is a cheeky little so-and-so, and he does, he does like to mess around with our feelings, doesn't he? He likes to mess around with our feelings. Pick for call-up says, Sarthak, cool. Yes, Twitch at 9 tonight. Even Keane said Pep got spark back after the Liverpool game. These reports about Pep leaving are funny. And yeah, it's not true, because the only person who knows when Pep is leaving, actually, I take that back. No one knows when Pep is leaving. I was going to say the only person who does know is Pep, but I don't think Pep even knows, because he's always changing his mind about it, isn't he? He apparently was going to leave. Was it at the end of, I can't remember if it was last season or the season before, like he was going to leave, but then he changed his mind and he signed an extension. Oh my goodness, that's why everything's wrong. I've not changed my profile settings. Thank you so much. Jose, welcome to the Ultras Club. Yeah, this is the wrong profile, but there we go. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Ultras Club, matey. Thank you so much for choosing to support the channel. Big W's for Jose. Hope you enjoy your stream perks, including the exclusive content. There will be there was an exclusive video last week. There'll be another one this week. Your random footballer. It's a Man United player, I'm afraid. It is Diogo Dalot. It's not a good pull. It's not a good pull. If you guys would like to support the channel, listen to the Knob bot. Thank you so much, Jose. Big W's for you. Welcome to the Ultras Club, mate. Welcome to the Ultras Club. No one knows when Pep is leaving. That's the thing to say, isn't it? Not even Pep knows, because he's always changing his mind. And so I'm not concerned about it. I will believe it. I'll only believe it when Guardiola himself comes out and says, I am leaving now, or I am leaving at the end of the season, and that is final. I'll believe it when that happens, but until Pep says otherwise, I'm going to just take it as, because I don't even know what they're basing it off, because again, not even Pep knows when he's leaving, so where's this rumour coming from, if not even the man himself fully knows or understands? People can have musings, they can have thoughts, but they're never going to fully know, are they? I've seen people say we're boring, we've never been more back, says Musty. Yeah. I do have some things I want to talk about, but today is going to be quite a chilled out stream, so there is going to be a little bit of structure at the start, but then we are going to devolve into more of a generic Q&A than earlier, because I don't have too much to say outside of like what I have covered in my analysis video. But that was one little thing that I did want to touch on, and the thumbnail for this video is weakness equals strength, which is incredibly vague and confusing, and juxtaposition. Is it an oxymoron? I'm an oxymoron. So, what do I mean by that? It was something that I did want to touch on in the video, but I forgot to say it in the re-recording. In the first one with all the horrendous reverb, it's there. But so I did just want to get this out there, and then we can maybe talk about that, and then we can like have a free-for-all and talk about whatever we so desire. The reason why we were so good against Liverpool on ball wasn't that much of a surprise, because it was the exact way that we played against Bournemouth. And so it was lovely. I got 11 out of 11 players right, and I predicted how we play off ball and on ball, but I'm not particularly proud of that, because I felt it was quite clear that should have been how we played when we had possession, because it was almost like a trial run against Bournemouth to a degree, but they had the same strengths and arguably weaknesses as Liverpool to a degree, and we were able to do the same thing, where we just had far more bodies than them in the centre when we had the ball. When you've got lovely little small space players who can play with those intricate 1-2s Shirky, Doku, Foden, Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, you're going to have a good time. And also when you get them very close to one another, it makes it really hard for the opponents because they can just, as we saw when it was like that little fun training exercise rondo thing, they can just play through you and around you. So that's the benefit of having all those lovely tight players tightly in the centre. So that's the strength of the on-ball thing. Now, the off-ball, and you'll know this if you watched the video, if you watched the video, that City also set up. So City very narrow with the ball, and we've seen how that can work to City's benefit. The off-ball was also very narrow, and it resulted in a situation where Liverpool could not progress through us down the centre. So they had to go out wide, and more specifically, they had to go down their right. Because I didn't realise this. I didn't even realise this at the time because I was obviously at the Etihad. Sky even put up a little graphic. Sky even put up a little graphic of how many touches Konate had at around the 17th minute mark. In fact, I can bring it up actually, can't I? I can bring it up just in case you guys want to see what I'm talking about specifically. Do I still have all the photos? Yes, I do. I still have my screenshots. I just thought this was really funny. Now, I wasn't listening to it with commentary, so I don't actually know if the commentators were making the same point as I made, and if they were, then they're absolutely spot on in my opinion. But or sometimes they bring up like stats like this just to show that Liverpool aren't doing much offensively. But this was an intentional ploy by City because Konate is a really bad builder up of the ball. Let's say. Now I didn't know this because I didn't watch. I don't think, that's mad in it, Nintendo. I don't think I watched the Burnley game in the end. I think I watched bits of it. I don't think I watched all of it. No, I definitely didn't watch all of it. Was that the one where they had like a last minute penalty? I don't think I ended up watching that game. But Tom Little, big up to him, he told me that Burnley did the exact same. He told me that they did the exact same. They focused on pressing Konate. So I didn't know that, but it's just interesting to note that it wasn't just City aren't the first team to have exploited that this season, according to Tom. Even Burnley did it, but I suppose that there's less eyes on that game, and it mattered less because Burnley are, of course, a less good side than City, but it's just interesting to note that that's clearly weakness for Liverpool. So, and that all came about because of how congested City were able to make it, and I think someone said earlier, Foden's performance went too under the radar for my liking. Vital role off ball because he essentially played as when Liverpool were in like the earliest phase, he was essentially the left striker, which is very interesting. So I would argue maybe Haaland had the most important job actually because he had to pick up Van Dijk, but all he had to do really was like stand there and mark him, whereas Foden had to jump and be aggressive every single time Konate got the ball. So I would argue he was maybe the most important player to this off-ball structure that we did against Liverpool, and it was so funny whenever Konate received the ball, Foden directly onto it immediately, wanting to give Konate less time on the ball, force him into a decision. Does he hoof it himself, or does he play it to Bradley, but then Doku's on Bradley if he goes there? Often what was happening was they just launch it to Salah because he's a very good outlet. But when Nico O'Reilly has a very good game, you're going to have a bad time. That's a really good point, Sarthak. Yeah, that is a really good point because Van Dijk's diagonals I didn't even touch that on the video, but yeah, that's a very good thing to bring up. Definitely that if you are forcing it to go through the right, obviously by extension you're not forcing it to go down the left, which means you are taking away one of their biggest weapons, which is that little diag, isn't it? So that's absolutely correct to say. And there was that XG graph that I brought up. Let me just do that. You'll have seen these things if you've seen the analysis video, but maybe you haven't. To this situation. Oh my God, to this situation. So this is Liverpool in the game. And this was partly, obviously, because, Wirtz was their technical left winger and he wasn't really at left wing. But even, that is a tiny number to only have 8 attacks throughout the entire game down an entire flank and to generate literally nothing RE expected goals is a bit mad, and it does, and obviously it's more biased to the right side, but once again, this was sort of it was definitely on purpose by City. So what do I mean by the thumbnail of, weakness equals strength by that? So I don't know if complaining is the right word, but I have been addressing my fear, my concern, my worry, whatever the correct term is, that City's squad is very narrow. This is one of the big reasons why I did not want to let go of Savio, because he's one of our only true wide options out there. Even, and Doku can, of course, is one of those wide options, but even he is playing so well in a more narrow position. Marmoush, Foden, Shirky, all of these players are not necessarily wide outlets. So that's a potential weakness in the squad. And I do think that is still something that should be addressed at some point. And we certainly shouldn't be moving on players, in my opinion, who do satisfy that brief. But what's interesting is that on paper is a weakness. City not having enough options out wide. City perhaps having too many options centrally. But Pep's turned that into a strength, both off ball and on ball. I just thought that was really interesting to note, because we know that it has been a strength when we are in possession, because you cluster loads of players close to each other. You make it very hard for the opponent to take the ball off you if you have proper technicians in there, as we do. The width is still coming from the fullbacks, of course, so we are still getting that width, but I just felt that was interesting. I just felt that was an interesting situation, that on paper, that should be something that's limiting City, but Guardiola has actually turned it into something that City can use to their advantage in both areas of play. I just thought that was something interesting to bring up. I just thought that was good, and big up to Pep for obviously deciding to do that. So we love to see that. We really do. So my bald fraud still got it. It will be very interesting to see whether this structure is something that we use longer term, or was it just for Liverpool? Not sure. But it worked. It did work. And I know this isn't a Liverpool stream, obviously, but this also, I know lots of Liverpool fans won't want to admit it, but the game again on Sunday was a brilliant example of what Liverpool lost when Trent left. Because in the past, when would you ever have said, oh yeah, what City should do is force Liverpool to build it up down their right? In what world would you be saying, oh yeah, just let Trent have free reign of the ball out at right back? You would never say that. It would be the exact opposite. You would want Trent to not have the ball and being that quarterback player. You don't want that at all. It's the exact opposite. But that's a massive tool in Liverpool's arsenal that's just gone now, because Bradley ain't that player. Even if Frimpong were playing, he isn't that player. Konate can't do that. In the past, that's shafted City, but there was no fear of that today. I just thought that was interesting as well. And again, I know lots of Liverpool fans won't want to admit that. I'm not saying that all of their problems are because Trent has left, but I don't think it's a surprise that Liverpool are massively struggling building out from the back, and they just happen to have lost one of the best passers in the Premier League. Arguably, alongside De Bruyne, like the best. Realistically, that's how good Trent was at that role. And we can have conversations about, is he a defensive liability? And the answer to that is yes, but you can't deny the positives that he gave Liverpool with that build-up, and City didn't need to fear that, because Robertson was technically free. So in the past, if like Trent was in like the position that Konate was in or whatever when he's picking up the ball, then Trent could just go boom and ping it over to Robertson, and then all of a sudden City's entire press is bypassed. But City were willing to take that risk because they knew Konate couldn't do that. There was even a moment where Van Dijk was literally pointing to Robertson, and he was saying to Konate, there, play it forwards, there. Like, Shirky's narrow, he's not picking up Robertson. No one's picking up Robertson. Go there. But we knew that he wouldn't be comfortable enough to do that, and so it came to pass. Can we do that against other sides? Maybe if we are able to isolate them to a particular build-up weakness, area of the pitch, perhaps. It is a risky strategy. It is a risky strategy. But City played nearly every single game with a risky off-ball strategy. It's just interesting that this is another tool that City can use. I don't know. Can anyone please let me know? I can't recall when City last played that, when we were out of possession. I'm sure there's a game that I'm missing. I can't personally recall it where we did that, where we essentially had the right winger and the left winger tucking into the centre when the opponent were in the earliest phases, and then we went to our normal shape thereafter. But I can't really recall a situation where we've had the left central midfielder pushing up to left striker, and we've had the left winger tuck into left central midfield, the right winger tuck into right central midfield. I can't really recall that happening of late. Anyway, perhaps it has happened, but I can't remember it. I'm sure it has. Weakness turned into strength. Has Guardiola fixed Man City? Well, we're certainly heading in the correct direction. That's good to see. Is Phil the best English midfielder right now? Says Sub. He's certainly up there, and he was so good on Sunday. He was so good. I think LB said that lots of his chat was saying he had a quiet game, and I was thinking about this. Maybe I'm just playing a game of semantics, and perhaps it doesn't matter. I do think that there is again, perhaps I'm just being very anal here. I do think, though, that there is a difference between labelling a player as having a quiet game and labelling a player as being quietly excellent or quietly great. So I would say that Nico against Bournemouth was quietly excellent. And what I mean by that is he just did his job spot on, nothing too flashy, nothing too exciting to an untrained eye, but he quietly got on with his job and he was absolutely wonderful at it. I believe that when a quiet game is more used in a negative light and it's more of a negative connotation. Perhaps I'm reading too much into that, and maybe, as I say, maybe I am being incredibly semantic focused on that. But I would personally describe it more so as he was quietly great or quietly excellent, because quiet game does suggest he didn't do anything. But perhaps I'm reading too much into that. I don't know. But either way, for me, he was quietly excellent in the game. Didn't do anything too flashy. But this is really good for Foden, because everyone knows that I've defended him a lot, whatever. But something that is nice to see is that we can all agree now that, yeah, it must indeed, that Foden is now, and clearly this season, has demonstrated that he is able to have a great game without being flashy, without scoring a goal, without creating a goal, without doing something that makes you what am I saying here? Makes you like applaud and like stand up and go, oh my god, that was amazing. Doesn't necessarily have to have a game where there's like a specific moment in it in order to be excellent and to have a very good game. So we've seen that this season. That's nice, because perhaps that was something missing from his game, but we've seen that so far this season, that he's still able to do that. That was something nice to note as well. So I'm very happy for him to keep on having these, whether you want to call it, whether it's a quiet game, whether it's a quietly excellent game. I do think there might be a difference, but perhaps it doesn't really matter. Phone was so complete. Yes, exactly, Burn the Dish Soap. I agree. Might play a similar system against Madrid, assuming Trent won't start. Fenway, that could be very exciting. It's almost like losing the best progressive passer and cheat code and build up, not replacing him isn't issues as Spartacus. Yes, you're not wrong. Sarfak, perhaps, mate, perhaps. Little fans don't know this, but it's true. Their pain has only just started. Slot's not the guy to fix it, says Herbal. I hope you are right. Perhaps, hey, is it something that we could do to Arsenal? Maybe, I don't know. Trent was on the 100th percentile for long progressive passes. That's stupid. That's insane. That is insane. I mean, that Diaz, it could be viable long term. It could be. If you've got really physical fullbacks / wingbacks / wingers in Nunes and O'Reilly who can get back and defend, then hey, it could be viable, absolutely. Every system has a weakness, that's the thing. That is the thing. Nowadays, people would say Iniesta was quiet 99% of his games. And that's why I do think there is a bit of a distinction between, he had a quiet game versus he was quietly excellent. Because, yeah, like a Xavi or an Iniesta or David Silva. And I'm not saying that Foden's as good as those players, because obviously he isn't. Obviously he isn't. But sometimes a player can be brilliant with not doing anything especially exciting or interesting. Although, to be fair, I did think that there were a couple of moments where that was the case. Like, the lead up to that first goal, where he takes 3 players. He takes out Salah, Bradley, and Ekitike from the press with that little dummy where he goes right, but then he, clips it with the left foot. That's very nice. And Foden's got this really weird face that he does whenever he's about to do, a crazy action like that. It's like that. That's his concentration face, yeah? Something likeable about our team. We're not the best City team under Pep, but even if we don't win anything, I like our set of players. Yeah, Kazoo. Definitely. In a world of everyone this season, rightly or wrongly, I don't think I've ever complained about it once, sincerely, to be fair. In a season where everyone is complaining about how many set-piece goals there have been in the Premier League this season, and how focused teams are on throw-ins, corners, free kicks, blah 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 blah, and more the physical nature of it and that sort of thing. How lovely is it that City have been, and everyone's saying that's boring, and there's City just doing the exact opposite, just not scoring from set pieces at all. It's just only scoring from open play. I just thought that was funny because the narrative has always been City are boring, blah 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 blah. City are ruining the league, blah 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 blah. And it's just funny that how the turns have tabled. Yeah, how the turns have tabled. There's an expectation around Foden. He's been brilliant so far. I think people look at Foden's G8 and his involvement in the final thirds. They do. They do. And that's fine to do depending on the game. But if a player is given a very different role and is more supposed to be involved in the build-up, then, of course, it is going to decrease. Now, I still believe that Foden should be looking to get double-digit goals. I still think that is a target for him, even in a deeper role, because we know that just because you're a midfielder doesn't mean that you can't contribute going forwards. Frank Lampard is the best goal-scoring midfielder the Premier League seen, and he was more of a number 8, so he can still crash the box, and that can still definitely be a thing, and that can definitely still be a thing. I don't know how many goals he's got this season. I know he obviously got 2 against Dortmund. He got 1 against United. He got 1 against Hudders. So is it 4 this season already? Something like that. So he's still able to contribute going forwards, of course. Foden off ball has been excellent, says Cams. So just on that, here's a stat for you. We've only got 52 likes. Unacceptable. Like the video, guys. It's free. Help support your boy. But I have another stat for you. This is from Julian Laurent. Big up to him. You may have seen it on Twitter. City ran 118 kilometres as a team on Sunday versus 109 for Liverpool, which is nearly a 9-kilometre difference because there are decimals and whatnot. It's the second highest difference between 2 Premier League teams after City versus Wolves. So City are in there twice for the highest difference. City have covered more ground than anyone else so far this season. 5.5 kilometres more per game than last season. Arsenal are second in most kilometres run. The average distance covered by a team in the Premier League this season is 110, and City are at 115, which is mad. I know that, running numbers aren't the be-all and end-all, but that is very good considering how last season we were talking about how City's weakness was that we didn't have enough legs in the midfield especially. We just didn't have enough legs across the entire team, and we weren't good enough therein. That issue has been addressed, clearly. So that's lovely to see. Specifically on Sunday, Foden ran 12.76 kilometres. Bernardo ran 12.73 kilometres. Only Foden versus Everton and Florentino Luis versus Forest have done better this season. So that means that Foden. So that means that just like on this comment here, Foden has 2 of the top 3 for distance run. That's what that means, right? Because he ran the most against Everton. Doesn't surprise me in his deeper role. Sorry. So second is Florentino Luis, and then third is Foden's against Liverpool. So that's mad. So he's got the number 1 and number 3 spot this season in respect of off-ball, or just in respect of running, I suppose, and work rate. But Nobbins, he doesn't do enough off the ball, and he's a bit of a liability off the ball. Would you rather have Doku versus Trent or Doku versus... Oh, definitely Doku Trent. Definitely Doku Trent. I need to see that. I need to see that cook sesh one more time. I need to see it one more time. If Valverde can't pass, he just has long shots and Aura. Hey, Aura always beats us. Aura always beats us, in fairness. Breaking Novice Six Foes better than David Silva. This guy. Yeah, I can't do impressions, guys. You guys know this. I can't do it. I can't do impressions. Yeah, get the likes of guys. Come on, it's free. I'm not counting that. I don't want to count it. No. Until we score directly from a corner or, like, you know, header from the corner to another player, I'm not counting that as scoring from a corner. I refuse to count that. Tactical versatility might make us more dangerous. It definitely does, Fenway. There's no might about it. I definitely agree. It definitely does. I might try to release a set-piece video over the international break. I'll see if I have time to do that. I would like to do that, though. What I want to do is I want to look at every single corner the City have taken this season, and I want to figure out what is going on. Essentially, I want to watch them all back-to-back and go, right, what's happening here? I don't know if I can find the numbers. I would love to know how much expected goals or expected assists has been accumulated via our corners this season. I'm going to try to figure that out as well. Don't know how I can do that, but I will try my best. And I want to try to analyze it and go, right, what is going on? What's occurring? Because there's no way it can be that bad. There's no way, surely. Phone's one place I enjoy watching most at the moment. He's so smooth on the ball, world class. That's just me, says Herbal. He's very lovely to watch. Isn't he? A bit of a cheat code in that build-up. I do know that. Johnny, I'm not going to lie, matey. I've not been watching Girona, Borough, Nice, and Watford. I think those are the teams. So I've not been watching much of them, I won't lie. Exactly, Olive. Exactly. Yeah, it's a very good point, Fenway. I mean, he's a little engine guy, isn't he? He's like Bernardo Silva with his engine, in fairness. Van Dijk's aura defending, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Oh, ultimate. People in the box of corners are selling Foden's assists. That's my impression of it. I will look back. Maybe Foden is just stinky, but I don't think he is. I feel like he isn't. Him, according to you, should be our next manager, as I came across some reports hinting Pep's last season. Give me Vincent Kompany, if we can. If we can. I guess that's what I should also do. Like, of the players that's what I also need to do for this hypothetical video. I need to go back and see how many goals from corners have our players scored across their careers / City careers. Because I suspect that we probably don't have enough players who are able to do that necessarily right now, because Diaz doesn't do it. Guardiola has done it. Haaland has done it. There's not too many in like our starting 11 where you go, yeah, you are a consistent heading threat from corners. There's not that many, I feel like, in our squad. Ake used to be very good at them. Obviously, he's not a starter anymore. Stones, very good at them. Not a starter anymore. I think O'Reilly's got one. Perhaps. Probably their career, must he? So I'll look into that. I'll look into that as well and see how many players have done that. That's what I will do. But I'm pretty sure, based on my viewing, I'm pretty sure the delivery is fine because of the amount of free headers that we've had. So I don't think it's the delivery. I'm pretty sure it's not, because the delivery is consistently excellent. So it can't be that. But I'll watch them again. Perhaps I'm missing something. But that's not what my brain is telling me. That's not what my eyes are telling me, sorry. When Guardiola and Rodri and everyone else is getting like free headers and really good opportunities to attack the ball, and they just don't. Or they do and they don't challenge the keeper. It's very odd. A lot of people do not rate Pep at Bayern a success. Yeah, well, they're silly, aren't they? They're very silly. They don't rate his time at Bayern because he didn't win the Champions League. But that's stupid. Because he broke records at Bayern. He actually made them play a lot better. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Rowan. One of my beautiful hardcore ultras. Look at that horse. Your random football is Ryan Mason. It's all right. Foden's delivery is great. I think so, Rowan. So many free headers, definitely. Don't know what needs to happen. We need to start scoring them. I will be looking into that. Again, I'm so convinced it's not the delivery because of the amount of free headers, as you say. It can't be that. It can't be that, surely. Surely not. But I'll look into it. I will look into it. Because, as I say, it's definitely not the delivery from Foden. Because even from last season, it's improved a lot as well. With that, I think he got a couple of assists from corners last season. I remember the Wolves game, for instance. I do recall that. Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting one. What I would like to see, though, I don't want to see Foden taking both. I would like to see Shirky or Marmoush on the other side. For the right, so we can have in-swingers for both rather than in-swinger, out-swinger. Because I think that Foden's best corners are the in-swingers, based on the chances that he's created. Although, to be fair, it was an out-swinger against Arsenal. You know, the Rodri header, where it was like a free header. That was an out-swinger, wasn't it? I don't know. It's why I'll look into it. I'll go back and have a look at all the corners and see what's going on. Because every time I go, it's a corner, we know it's not going to be a thing. I personally prefer in-swingers, definitely, yeah. I personally prefer them. Just because out-swingers, it feels like it's too easy. I don't know, it feels like it's too easy for the goalkeeper. You know what I mean? But yeah, pretty convinced it's not the delivery based on what my eyes are telling me, as Rowan says. I agree. Because the free headers, they speak 1,000 words. Whatever they say. They speak 1,000 words. Great Spurs manager, yeah, indeed. Thank you so much for impartiality. Love that from you. Yeah, the Bayern side, that's what I was talking about, wasn't it? The Bayern side. Just because he didn't win the Champions League. Now, even in those Champions League performances, I did a video on this, debunking the Fraudiola myth. I did a video on this because people are like, oh, well, at Bayern, blah, 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 blah. So he broke loads of records in his first season, including, you know, most points in like the first half, most goals, blah, 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 blah. But people take for granted the fact that Pep won it 3 times in a row because they go, oh, well, anyone can win it with Bayern. The reality is that before Guardiola, Bayern Munich had never won 4 titles in a row. And Guardiola made it so that Bayern won 4 in a row for the first time in their history. And then they continued to win it up until 10 in a row. So that was not demonstrative of what Bayern were as a club beforehand. Do you see what I mean? That's not what they were. They turned into that, where they just dominated the league. But historically, that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case at all. So Guardiola deserves massive credit for that. I believe. Anyway. And if you even look at those Champions League runs. Okay, the first one was a little bit weird. Because because he did go back 3 against Messi, Suarez, Neymar. That was odd. I will say that Bayern didn't concede a goal when Pep went back 3. So that's not the reason why they went out. First of all, the reason why they went out is because Benatia and Bernat shit the bed. And also, they were up against Barcelona, who won the title. So they won the Champions League, sorry. Didn't they win the treble that year? that the Messi Suarez Neymar side that won the treble? I feel like it was. There's no shame in losing to that side in the semi-final anyway. So that's the first thing to say. That was the second season. Apologies. That was his second season. The first season was against Real Madrid, who went on to win the Champions League in the semi-final. Now, I will say that he got it wrong in the second leg. I feel like in the first leg, he actually did do quite well and he got unlucky. Second leg, he made a mess of it and he decided to do what the players wanted. That's confirmed in his book, or the guy who wrote his book, whatever. That was an error on Pep's part. So that happened. So I can't blame him for that. But again, it was a Real Madrid side that had Ronaldo, Di Maria, Gareth Bale, blah, 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 Sergio Ramos. I feel like probably would that have been Casemiro, Kroos, Modric? It was like the Real Madrid side. There's no shame in losing to that side. So there's no shame in losing to that side. There's no shame in losing to the Messi, Suarez, Neymar, Barcelona. The only one, and probably the year that I think he would have won it, was the semi-final against Atletico, and that should have been a Bayern Munich win. There was no world in which Bayern weren't going to win that game, but Thomas Muller missed a penalty, and everything just happened to go wrong. Atletico were unbelievably clinical that day, and they were so far the better side. Muller missed a penalty, and then they had to go on the attack, and then they got countered therein. So that was a shame, but there's always reasons for those exits. He got to 3 semi-finals, and that's the thing, you get me. 0 out of 10 rage bait. Where's my sign, actually? Should I get like a rage bait sign? I've got a waffle sign. Should I get a rage bait one as well, though? 0 out of 10 waffle. I mean, no, 0 out of 10 rage bait, 10 out of 10 waffle. How about that? Oh, dear. Can Savio still make it here? Definitely can. If the story of Doku has hopefully told many people many things, that you don't give up on a young, inexperienced winger. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can give them time. Hopefully Doku is a great example of that. Hopefully. Is the Hall of Shame broken? No, I haven't done one for a while, to be fair. Is that what the command is? Is it not Hall of Shame? Is it not Hall of Shame, Musty? I don't know. I might be wrong. But I'll look into that, because I thought that system was still in play. Who do you think City should look into the market, maybe to replace Ake, who might leave next summer, as in bringing in a left-footed centre-back? Okay, yeah, it's not working. I'll look at that. I'll look into that then, Musty. I'll look into that. Don't know why it wouldn't be working. No. Don't know why it's not working. I will investigate. Don't you worry. That's something. In fact, can you DM me, Musty, saying, how do I do that? Oh, sorry, reminding me to do that. Apologies. Yeah. Who do you think City should look into the market, maybe to replace Ake? I don't know what is going on with City centre-backs. Because there's news that Ake is maybe going in Jan. I don't know how legitimate that news is, but there have been rumblings that Ake is not happy with his role. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I guess it depends how we view Hayes and Barr. It depends how we It depends how we view them. If we view them as one or both can, let's say, not the worst case scenario, but a scenario is that next season neither Ake or Stones are here, because Stones' contract expires and Ake allegedly wants to go. So there is a world where they both go. In which case we would need to obviously fill that void. At that point we would have Guardiola, we would have Diaz, we would have Kusanov, Those would be like the 3 main centre-backs. And then it's just a case of what do you do for the 4th spot onwards? Akanji's definitely going as well, yeah, on a permanent, surely. And then it depends what you want to do with, like, spots 4, 5, and so on and so on. Do you go for another, like, first choice centre-back? I'd say that's probably not the correct way to go because you've already got Gvardiol, Diaz, Kusanov. At that point, you want to be integrating Kusanov, so it's not a thing. And then, so you probably do want to be looking to players who are ones that you want to embed essentially, and that would be Hayes, Bar, maybe academy players such as Mifune or that sort of thing. So I think a lot of it will essentially depend on how do City view the progression of these players. How do they view Hayes? How do they view Bar? Are they ready to be integrated now? Are they ready to come in now? Or do we have to send them out on loan for 1 more year? Do we take that risk? I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is personally. A lot will depend on how Hayes and Bar progress this season, because it would be lovely if Stones goes, Hayes comes in, he can just replace him, and he's competent with his left foot, so he can play at left centre-back sometimes. Not necessarily left-footed, but that could be a thing. That would be the ideal situation, so we don't have to spend a lot of money. I'd be very surprised if we signed a proper first-choice centre-back. It does depend on how we view these younger players, for sure. And what's Savage to make it here? Oh, yeah, Herbal, absolutely. I'm sure we all do. So look up, so I can see Ake leaving. That's fair enough. Yeah, that does raise the homegrown question again. And if we do rely on non-homegrown options at centre back, losing Stones and Ake, then we will have to almost definitely look to homegrown signings elsewhere. For example, if we want to get in a midfielder. Now, the good news is that there are lots of good options out there who are homegrown midfielders. There is Morgan Gibbs-White, there is Anderson, there is Wharton, so that's not necessarily a bad thing that City would have their hand forced in that sense. Hello, Bath Time. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I mean, I'm not very good at not rising to bait, I won't lie. Not on the YouTube anyway. Maybe that's just because it's like my channel and I don't like it when people say mental shit. Big up to you, Becky. Madrid has a challenger in Barcelona, but Bayern is one and only strong team in Germany. They can afford to buy all the talent in the land, says Tahiti. Not wrong nowadays, for sure. Mufuni is a left-footed centre-back. Yes, absolutely. Good luck with your channel, Becky. I'm sure you'll smash it. That's very kind, Addy. Thank you very much. Vitor Hayes plus a homegrown option. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. We need a ball-playing centre-back that's like Stones. Could Vitor Hayes be that guy? Could he be that guy? Not sure. I can see one of Kusanov or Hayes Greenfoot left centre-back, says Sachin. I'd probably prefer Hayes to do that, but I do think that Kusanov's ball playing is a little bit underrated, so he could do that, but I'd rather it be Hayes personally if that's going to be the long-term situation. I like Onana. Yeah, he was one of the players I was interested in us signing last year, and then I got shouted at for suggesting that. Semenyo, I do love Semenyo. Hey, he is homegrown. He is homegrown. It's a thing. Musty, get a GIF of Laporte because GIFs work. Thoughts on Vinicius links? Yeah, that's nice that Vinicius and Rodrigo want to leave Real Madrid allegedly or whatever. They're not happy with their roles. We got Jeremy, we got Big Jezza. I'm chill. I don't need him. I've got a Big Jez. Yeah, I got Doku. Got my boy Doku. Bradley should contact Trent's therapist. Because I'm good at diags and progressive passes. I don't know if he's press resistant. That's potentially the thing, Smian, for sure. Just long term, it's long term. Just hopefully he'll replace Diaz, won't he? Longer term, that should be the vibe. Oh, look at that. It's even a PNG. It's even transparent. That's very lovely. Excellent work, Kazoo. Look at that. Look at my boy. Oh, bloody love Laporte, man. I still think that, of course, I love. Hey, look at that. Of course, Vincent Kompany is the biggest defensive legend in this club scene. I think Laporte was still my favourite centre back, though. God, I loved him. So bloody good. So bloody good. And he was left-footed. You guys know I love a left-footed defender. A left-footed centre-back, sorry. Diaz, I hope so. Longer term, though. Longer term. Exactly. That's the thing, Smian, isn't it? That's the thing. Hashtag what is it? Nodrigo, or was it Rodrigo? I can't remember what we said. I think it's Nodrigo. We don't need him when we got Doku and when we got Marmoush still to come back into the side, who's literally only just signed like this year. We don't need Rodrigo. And before you say play him at right wing, he's so adamant to play left wing that he was willing to stay at Real Madrid and compete with Vinicius Jr. of all players. That's how adamant he was on not playing off the right. So it ain't happening, surely, unless he has a massive change of heart. Madness. Do you see the replies to the tweets you quoted? Which one's that? Sorry, Musty. Which one's that? Which tweet is that? Let me know. Which tweet? Oh, about... Oh, sorry. I don't know what people have said. What have they said? Have they said that they actually agree? Crazy. Rodrigo can... Right, okay, this person doesn't understand. Rodrigo can play right wing. I'm going to reply. Rodrigo was so adamant on playing left wing rather than right wing that he was willing to compete with Vinicius Jr. to do so. Irrelevant. That's a little bit harsh, but I don't care. I don't care sometimes. Sometimes it's harsh but fair. It's harsh but fair, you know? Right, what replies am I looking at, Musty? I actually don't know what replies you're talking about. One line. That's exactly Spartacus. Didn't want to. Schlossbeck will start over Yoshka. Whoa. Chill. Look at my forehead. Thank you so much, Abanab. I'll slap my forehead. I tell you what, I'll slap my forehead every single time I forget to switch the profile and that camera activates. It's like a punishment for me. Thank you so much, Abanab, for the gift. Who got it? Was it Kazoo? As a worthy recipient of the gifted membership, because Kazoo has been here since 2021. So big up to him. He's one of the first names in the shoe size list. I think he's number 2. Big up to him. So he deserves that. Thank you so much, Abanab. Big W's for Abanab, please, because it's an incredibly selfless act. Go enjoy the exclusive videos, Kazoo, whilst you remember. Spartacus, what the hell, mate? What the hell? Let me have my dreams. Let me have my dreams. Yeah? Never forget there was a period in 1920 where Laporte, Stones, and Otamendi were unavailable. We had to play Rodri Ferner at the back for a game. We don't talk about that. Dark times, dark times. Oh, sorry, the original tweet. Ah, sorry, Musty. Did people go, now we're fine? Can you come and polish Doku's boots? Yes, what a comment. Oh, well done. Well done. So funny. That's a very good point, yeah, Fenway. You want your wing. Yeah. Vinicius can't even destroy Bradley. Doku can. So I know who my goat is. Yeah? Thank you so much, Abanab. Really kind and generous. Yeah, Kazoo got it. We love that. This month will be decisive, says Maku. We had a really hard run. Now, we only slipped up once against Aston Villa, really. That was a very tricky run. And I said I wanted 3 wins from those 3 games. Was it the 3 games at home that we've played recently? That's what I want. I wanted 3 wins. We got them. So I'm very happy with that. And I know that we have a hard game. I know that Newcastle have been particularly good this season, but still, Newcastle at St. James's Park, it ain't easy. That is up next, but we do have a couple of nice-ish games after that. We got a home game against Leverkusen and a home game against Leeds. And then we have another tricky run, sadly, away against Fulham, home against Sunderland, away against Madrid, away against Palace. But we've got a little bit of a temporary respite with those 2 games, potentially. So maybe players can get rested, rotated, that sort of thing. With Nunes' form, would you still go in for a right back in the summer? Yes, definitely. The good news is that if Nunes is like, being good, and obviously he is being good, if he's able to keep being good, then this actually makes it even easier for City to sign a right back. I mean, Kazoo, that video was... Oh, sorry, that the exclusive one. Yeah. I feel like they meant the other one. Yeah. Go. That's a good one, to be fair, Kazoo. This makes it even easier for City to sign a younger right back, because we've had this conversation before, haven't we? About how, outside of Livramento, for me, there were not many viable, like, elite/borderline elite options at right back. Now, I didn't accept that there weren't any others, because I'm not a scout. It's not my job to find them. I'm sure there still would have been at least one out there, but Livramento was my number 1, and he's got another injury. So within that context, you're then looking at the younger collection of right back. You're looking at players who are either in their teens or in their very early 20s. So we are talking about Costa. We're talking about Fernandes. We are talking about Bastos. We are talking about... can't recall the Espanyol's right back's name, something or other. You know who I'm talking about. These are all very young options who maybe don't have the track records to prove that they can come in and start for City and be absolutely elite immediately. That's the one. Thank you, Kazoo. Yes, shut up, Musty. So, if anything, it makes City's job even better, even easier, sorry. Because now we can afford to bring in a young right back, a project right back, and they don't have to immediately come in and be better than Nunes. They don't immediately have to be that sort of guy. Whereas, beforehand they may have had to be. Whereas now they don't. So let's say, for argument's sake, let's say Martin Fernandes, who is a very exciting option at right back. I don't know if he's my number 1 option, but he is an option. I'm in the winter, over the winter window, I might check in on all these players and see how they've been doing and like rewatch some of their matches. But let's say Martin Fernandes, how old is he? I can't recall. I believe he's either 20 or 19, I'm pretty sure. He's very young. 19 years old, so he's going to be 20 in January, so he'd be 20 next year. He's had a season, a full season, and even then it was only 25 games in the league. This is his 2nd season, so there would be less pressure on him coming in and immediately having to deliver, at 19 years old, if Nunes is able to keep performing like this, and then you can slowly integrate as he adapts to the league, and adapts to City's style of play, and blah, 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 blah. And then perhaps the year after, so like Fernandes will be 21 at that point, Nunes, I think, 29. At that point, perhaps Fernandes then takes over. Perhaps that's a thing as well. Yeah, Herban, there will have to be development there. I don't disagree at all. I do not disagree. But that's adding to the idea of, perhaps it's not so vital that they have to come in immediately and be that good. So this is really good. So Nunes performing like this actually makes me even more confident that City should be getting this form of right back, which is very good. And it's very good for us. It gives us a little bit more time. It gives us like an extra, if he's able to keep this up, like an extra 1, 2, maybe even 3 years without having to properly have this new right back playing for us. So that's very, 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 very lovely. With Newcastle, we'll be happy for a return from there without injuries, says Abanab. Good opportunity for some players to rest over this international break. Not everyone's going on international duty, and it's more of a chilled out pace anyway. Arsenal play Chelsea away the day after we play Leeds at home. Chelsea. Currently, we're easily beating Madrid, says Simian. Yeah, watch Rodrigo and Vinicius like absolutely dunk on us now. Get the kids to play at the Bernabeu. Madrid is shit, and the kids should be able to get some good game time and get a result, says Spartacus. We're cooking without a world-class right winger. Imagine if we get a world-class right winger, says Insane. I don't know if we'll do that, just because if you do that, then I just don't. I'd be a bit concerned about Shirky and where he's going to, where he'd be operating. I don't even know if we need to do that necessarily. Is he still top? How bad was the injury there? Because I thought that he did a very bad injury. There was the same one that was his original. Was it an ACL he did originally? What's the situation? I'm just cautious about signing a player who's going to pick up another big injury, that's all. That's the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about. That's our top right back talent and shape him into the right back we want. I agree, Herbal. I agree. I agree. We have time now, says Herbal. I hope this is the new normal for Nunes. Yes, it has to be, surely. I still want Livramento, and I still want him. I just don't know what the injury situation is. Because I think his knees are a bit... Yeah, knee ligaments. Or is it a different injury? Is that better or worse? Is it better or worse that it's a different... I don't even know. But either way. Oh yeah, he's been a name as well that lots of City fans have been interested in. He has been very lovely this season. I do like the look of Alberto Costa. Fernandes is definitely more exciting, though. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, that was bizarre. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, I doubt we'll get him. And also, there's I don't know enough about it, but there's that weird legal situation going on with him as well. I don't know enough about it, but you know. Did I throw the apple? Yeah, I did. I was like, guys, it's full of PEDs. It's full of PEDs. Yeah, performance enhancing drugs. Take it. An MCL tear which takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal, and it's healed now. I'm still a little bit wary. That's all. Just a little bit wary. Yeah, Timber would be lovely. He'd be my number one choice, but that obviously ain't happening. Of course, that ain't happening. Cash? No, it's chill, Nintendo, chill. Where will Shirky play for City by right winger in the summer? Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Because I do think that right now Shirky should be being used out at right wing for the most part. It would be lovely if he could somehow be incorporated into the off-ball midfield, but I don't know how realistic that is. Because Shirky is not that type of player. We'd have to massively change him, and I don't think that is sensible to do. I don't think we want to necessarily change Shirky like that. So I'm not advocating for, in the same way that I didn't advocate for a winger in the summer, I'm not going to be advocating for us to sign a winger. I'm not going to be advocating for us to sign a winger this summer either, because I don't think City need one. We've got Doku, we've got Marmoush, we've got Savio, we've got Bob, we've got Shirky. I don't think we need one. I don't think we need one. I think that would be a waste of a signing. Unless someone leaves, obviously. Like, I don't know, if we sell Shirky for whatever reason, or if we sell Doku, or we sell Marmoush, then it's a different conversation to be had. But I don't know if we need one right now, given the options. So I don't think my stance has changed on the summer. I felt that we had enough options in the summer. I feel like we have enough options now. So I wouldn't be advocating for a right winger personally. I wouldn't be advocating for a right winger or a left winger I'd be advocating for a young right back and maybe a midfielder, probably definitely a midfielder, and then the rest depends on outgoings. Outside of that, I don't think that this squad is that far away. I don't think we're that far away from having a fantastic. I mean, I think we've already got a fantastic squad, but a squad that can go in as favourites for the title. A lot depends on outgoings. I'm assuming Bernardo and Kovacic are going to leave in the summer. One would assume that means we need to sign a midfielder based on numbers. One would assume. But we probably still need more outgoings because our squad is still stacked. It is still stacked in respect of numbers. The amount of players that are still not making the bench. Hello, 7th Football. How are you? Are we too stacked in attack? No, if we're too stacked. We are stacked. No, if it's too stacked, though. If it's too stacked. We do have a lot of options there. If Echeverry also comes in, then there are probably too many bodies at that point, and I don't really know what the future holds for Echeverry. I would like him to be used in a similar way to how Cherki's being used. But that means technically be playing him at right wing, and I don't know how viable that would be. Perhaps not. Perhaps he won't. Perhaps he won't be at City next season. I don't know. Another loan would be great, Musty. If we can make that happen, that would be great. And there's Naipan coming through as well. We're trying to make him homegrown. Who knows what the future holds for him as well. Mukasa. Lots of players in our academy. There's lots of good options for City. They can't all... That's the thing. They can't all make it here. Some of them have got to go. We have to move on some of them. We can't hoard all the talents because they won't want to stay. It's like every single sale that City make they can't all be errors. We couldn't have held on to all of Palmer, Rodgers, Lavia. I feel like there's loads of players that I'm missing here. We can't hold on to all of them. And McAtee. Can't hold on to all of them, sadly. I think, did Lavia get injured again as well? I think. Which is upsetting, but I know the hindsight's a thing, but it does sort of illustrate that the whole Pasanuvia, that whole situation was a thing. Time cautious. Ideal Pep successor, me! I'd love Gavi as a Bernardo replacement. I'm concerned with his injury record. I feel like he's out every other month. I might be unfair with that, but I feel like he's always injured. I might be very wrong there, but I don't know. Not sure about that. I saw Foden drop him deep as a playmaker against Liverpool. Does that mean Foden can play 8, Cherki 10? Well, that's what we've seen, King. That's what we've seen. We've seen Foden be that 8 basically all season. Do I think Bart will be loaned again? Probably. Someone needs to be a Cole Palmer, says Musty. We can't keep all of them. Mikasa has to stay, says Nintendo. Rodgers would offer nothing to City we already don't have. I do agree with that. And it's funny because, yeah, last season he was good, and last season he would have made it into our midfield, but that's because our midfield was so dog shit. I do agree with that. And even the Palmer thing, like I know that some people are still upset about us selling Palmer, and I'm personally not one of those people. I still maintain that it wasn't a mistake, and maybe that's me being, dying on a hill that I shouldn't be dying on. But because I'm not going to go into why I believe that. But here's the thing: if Palmer is here, then Cherki doesn't come here. So I think at that point you do have to make a choice. Do you want Cherki to be here, or would you rather Palmer be here? Because I don't think the two can coexist. I really don't think they can coexist. Not with Foden in the side anyway, as well. So you do probably have to pick and choose between the two. I think Cherki has a higher ceiling. So I'm personally happy with the Cherki signing. Now that is, a bollocks thing for me to say, because you can't predict ceiling. So I'm going massively off instinct here and vibes and gut. But I personally believe that Shirky, at the age of 25, will be a far superior player. That's what my instinct is telling me. That is what my vibes are telling me. But ceiling's so hard to predict. I don't know. Because I also thought Brandon Barker might become a City player. That didn't happen. So, I don't know. Would you extend with Bernardo and keep him for another season? I know, Herbal. It's really annoying because I never thought, I didn't think that I would ever be, I really thought, right, this was the last season of Bernardo, and he's obviously been a great servant, he's a legend, but it's time to go. And he's putting in these performances, and it's just making me think, like, but the problem is, the extension, because how old is Bernardo? Is he 30? Let me just double check. He's 31, sorry. So, he wouldn't be wanting, like, a small extension. He'd be wanting one final big extension, wouldn't he? Do you know what I mean? Because he's at the age where he's got one big contract left in him, like one more 4 or 5 year contract there. And I don't think City can do that. If it were 1 year, maybe like 1 year with an extension for another, then I'd be up for that. But we've been burned so much with players who are overstaying their welcome. Is that the expression? I think I've bottled that. You get me? You know, and we should move them on, and we don't. So I'm very, very cautious here. My heart, it's annoying. This is the head versus heart thing, because my heart is telling me he's still absolutely elite in a very specific role, and he can still fulfill that brilliantly well. But I'd be very cautious about anything over than a year, and there's no doubt that he's at the age he is at, he's going to want way more than a year. So if it's a case of let him go or keep him for another 3 years plus, I think you've probably got to let him go. But if we extend it for 1 or 2, I can see that being a positive. Yeah, Lavia out for 5 weeks. And this is the thing, like, it's very easy to say that, it's very easy for people to say, oh, it was a mistake for City to sell Lavia, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, not only is he always injured, but he was never, we know that, I mean, look at Nico, you can't just bring in a 6, you've got to bring in someone who can do both. And Lavia didn't want to stay anyway, so, you know, Lavia didn't want to stay. Splash 300 mil on Vitinha, says Rusty. There's someone who keeps saying, can you answer my question? You've not asked a question. If you ask a question, I will answer it. But I'm not going to answer, but you keep spamming, can you answer my question? You haven't given me a question to answer. So give me a question and I'll perhaps answer it. Next time he scouts bar, sorry, take a look at his right back partner, Antoine Mendy. I will do that, Cisco. Thank you. Bloody Phillips. Shut up, Eugene. Shirky's a ball. Imagine how good it can become. Exactly, Herbal. Exactly. And it will happen. Shirky's so good, guys. I'm such a big Shirky believer. In terms of pure talent, Shirky's one of the most talented players. I think that's a fair statement. See, he's not yet. Like, Palmer is currently a better player than him, I believe. But I do believe in 1 year, 2 years' time, I think that we will be talking about Shirky as one of the best players in the Premier League. I do believe that. I do. I've got very high hopes for Shirky. I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he's so got that in him. Definitely. I'm so convinced of that. You just know Bernardo's dropping a 2 out of 10 against Newcastle. Yeah, then he'll go and do something like that, and he'll be like, oh, dearie me. J.O. says, I think we should buy a number 6 and a right back in Jan, and we're good. You want a young and cheap one. Don't know about a number 6, just because we've got Rodri, and because if we have a look at the makeup of our midfield, I was thinking about this today because I'm so weird. Like, I'll just be walking and I'll think about, you know, what's the structure of City's midfield? Like, how are we doing here in respect to personnel? If we, like, break it down, I know it's not as easy as this, but let's, for argument's sake, break it down to simple terms of you've got a 6, you've got an 8, you got a 10. I know it's not that simple, but let's, for the sake of arguments, just say that it is that simple. So who are our options at 6? You've got Rodri, you've got Nico, and in a pinch, you've got Reinders. In a pinch. So that's third choice. Reinders isn't a bad third choice defensive midfielder. I think we're pretty stacked at defensive midfield options. And Reinders should never have to play, because if your two main defensive midfielders get injured, I mean, the Aston Villa game is a freak incident, isn't it? So I think we're pretty stacked at 6. Moving on to 8. This is maybe the area that City could be looking at, because who do we have at 8? We've got Foden, we've got Nico, we've got... This is next season, Musty. I'm assuming Kova ain't going to be here. But hey, if Kova's still here, then I guess he counts as well. And I guess Kova would also count here. So next season, we've got Foden, we've got Reinders, we've got Nico. And you'd say that those 3... I feel like I'm missing someone. I'm not including Lewis and O'Reilly yet. Am I missing anyone else? Foden, Reinders, Nico. Am I missing a... I feel like I'm not. So that means you've got 3 proper, like, starting midfielders that you'd be really happy with. I'm just including Nunes as a right back for the purposes of, you know, his career at City. So that would mean you've got 3, you know, like, first choice midfielders for that 8 position. We can add to that Rico Lewis and O'Reilly. Now, these are players who you probably wouldn't want them to be your like regular first team week in, week out players. You wouldn't really want that to be, but they're good options to have. So technically, we have those 5. And again, maybe Kova is in there as well, because Herbal maybe, but I'm assuming that Kova's out next season. I'm assuming that he's going to be gone. So I guess perhaps O'Reilly could be an option there and Lewis an option there. This is maybe the area where City are lightest, because you're looking at 3 proper first teamers for 2 positions, which isn't that many. So, but hey, we got Lewis, we have O'Reilly. So in respect to bodies, perhaps one could argue there's enough. But if O'Reilly becomes an out-and-out left-back, then that takes a body away, of course. So perhaps there's an avenue there. And then you go to 10, who can play more advanced. Reinders can, Foden can, Cherki can, Bob can. And that's before Echeverri even coming in. That's before even, you know, potentially Mukasa getting involved. And maybe even we can add Mukasa to the number 8 as well. Yeah, exactly. So I think we're pretty stacked at 6. We're pretty stacked at 10. The only argument, I believe, bar outgoings, is do you bring in another overall midfielder at number 8? And that probably is the direction City should go for, because City are a little bit lightweight in the middle. So maybe you do bring more of a physical player. Maybe, but that's the only avenue I can really see. I can really see. Not sure, though. Not sure. My instinct tells me we should probably sign a midfielder if we're losing Kova and Bernard, because it just becomes a numbers game, doesn't it? Gundogan leaves, Reinders comes in. Kova leaves, Nico comes in. Bernardo leaves. What happens then? I feel like just based on the numbers, we probably should bring in a midfielder. Probably should. And that's why players like Gibbs White, Wharton, Anderson have been linked with City, obviously. So it does make sense. Shut up, Naveen. Can you shut up, Spartacus? Did that guy even actually ask his question in the end? I think Palmer's overrated, says Sachin. People do. I like Palmer a lot, but yeah, people do sort of. I mean, isn't he in like the best 11 of FIFA or some bullshit? I mean, that's literally just because they're trying to legitimize that competition. But yeah, like that is a bit mad. Shut up, Olive. Bloody Phillips, yeah. But that's a third choice at number 6. That's third. If your third choice is playing, you can expect them to not be particularly good. Like, imagine if your third choice goalkeeper were playing. You're not expecting them to be very good, are you? So your third choice should never have to play. I like to keep Silva one more season. I want him to mentor Naipan. That's interesting, Spartacus. I wonder if we'll send out Naipan on one more loan next year. Are we including O'Reilly's midfielder or strictly left back? I think he's a left back who can fill in midfield in a pinch, perhaps. Perhaps. Pep said Nori can play as a defensive midfielder. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen it for Wolves, but so I'm gonna press X for doubt there, but I'm not gonna accuse him of a lie. But I'm pressing X for doubt. Yeah, X for doubt. Hey, you're preaching to the converted there, Herbal. He would have been a lovely signing. Not next year, Strews. I think next year will be too soon for him, surely. Where's Kusanov? He should be our third choice centre-back next year. Our third option there. And that's fine because there's two positions there. So it will only be Guardiola and Diaz ahead of him. So that's what I think is a thing. Stones. I would like that Fenway as well, but he didn't go for it against Villa, did he? He didn't go for it. I would have liked Stones at 6, but yeah, we didn't get to see it, which is a shame. Foden. You're low key. Little bit, you know. Low key. Kusanov TM. Chill. I'll be live for another 10 minutes, guys. 9 minutes specifically, just so it's like a clean 90 minutes, yeah. Oh God, Kenboy's going to say it. Everyone shut up, because Kenboy's going to say it. Everyone else, wait with bated breath. I've put too much pressure on this now. This better be good now. Come on, Kenboy. He's going to say it. Say it. Yeah? What have you got for me? What's this going to be? Yeah, let him cook. Come on, Kenboy. This is gonna be a 5-course meal, I reckon. So I put too much pressure on this now. Come on, Kenboy. I want to hear it. Here we go. Bernardo might be the single most important player we've ever signed, and they'll be the most difficult to replace. That is, you're low key. You might be cooking. Low key. Sorry, because I love your profile picture. I don't necessarily disagree. I definitely agree with the latter. I do think he's going to be the most difficult to replace because, and that was me thinking that at the end of the treble year as well. I was like, I remember, I don't know why I was thinking this, but I remember like being in the queue, like through passport control. Maybe it's because I think I was in a group chat and I was like talking about it or something. And we're talking about, City's players and how do they progress and blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, oh my God, Bernardo, like, what do we even do? I really hope he stays because there's always rumours of Bernardo leaving. So I definitely agree with that because there's no one like Bernardo, is there? There is no one. Perhaps Foden could, like, become that vibe of player. But I don't know if I necessarily want Foden to be that. I'm not sure. But in respect to versatility, there's not many players out there with than Foden and Bernardo. Good comment, Kenboy. That was worth waiting for. See, here's the thing. If you're going to say, I can't remember what your initial statement was. It was, I'm going to say something. It has to be a good statement. Otherwise, there's a lot of pressure there. So well done, Kenboy. I agree. Thank you so much, sexiest weeb alive. Do you think we need a new right winger? Savio hasn't impressed. He did impress last season. But also I want Shirky there. So I do think, and also Savio's just signed an extension, which doesn't necessarily mean he's going to stay. Like, it could just be a ploy to get more money from him as a sale. But I don't think we need another winger generally, to be fair. I think we have plenty of options. I think I've reached the conclusion which I had in the summer, that we need a right back, and when Bernardo leaves and Kova leaves, we need the central midfielder as well. The centre back situation is up in the air. I think that's the position I'm most willing to be swayed on. I'm very comfortable with the goalkeepers. Goalkeepers aren't a problem, even though I think that we'll have to sign another goalkeeper in the summer. But I'm comfortable with the goalkeepers that we have right now. Very comfortable with the left-back options we have right now. Not comfortable with the right-back options, but we've addressed that. Centre-back is up in the air. Very comfortable with the DMs. Not comfortable with the 8s next season if those outgoings happen. Very comfortable with the more attacking midfielders. I'm comfortable with the wingers. I'm comfortable with the strikers. So I'm pretty chill. Yeah, Kenboy cooked, man. He cooked. Well done, Kenboy. Fair play to you. Fair play. You have protection from a mod. Say whatever you want to Spartacus. Oh, well done. Not City or football related, but have you heard the new No Pressure songs? No Pressure. Is that a band? I'm assuming so. I've not heard of them. But I'm not very big on music. You guys know that. I have a very limited palette and knowledge when it comes to music. So I've not. I'm afraid, Strudes. I've not. Is a statue of Bernardo him with a coffee walk of the pitch? Oh yeah, it should be. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be so funny. Bernardo needs something. He does need something, definitely. He definitely does need something. I don't know what though. I don't know what he needs. Because we've got so many players of like the Bernardo ilk of legend, like Gundogan's there as well. There's so many players. Like, can you make all those as a statue? I'm not so sure. So maybe he'll just be like a mosaic vibe. Unsure. He needs something though. He absolutely does need something, definitely. A lot of our players need something. Because they are legends of this club. Just give the stadium, yeah. I am a fraud. Absolutely, I am. No worries, Kenboy. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, but you did it. You did it. Well done. Oh, is it like pop punk sort of vibes? We love a bit. Oh, they released a new single actually. I need to make it into a an intro music. I'm gonna play some of it because they let me play their music, so I know I'm not gonna get copyrighted. Yeah, I'm not gonna get copyrighted because it's a thing. What's the name of the song? I've not added it to my playlist, but I do like it. It's not my favorite one, but I do like it a lot. It is called Tightrope. It's called Tightrope. It's the same vibe. Can I sign in, please? Hello? Why am I not logged in? Fuck. Oh, piss off, mate. I don't know what my bloody password is. Oh, for God's sake. I'm going to have to go on YouTube because it's Mrs. Nobbins' Spotify account that we just share, so I don't know what her password is. Go for gold tightrope. I'm going to search on YouTube. Fuck it. Gonna like the video, obviously.
Go ahead and make your move. You're better off without my face in your view.
This is my sort of music. I do like this. What do you guys reckon?
Long night, how do we make it? Sometime, what
It's a no from you, chat. That's fair. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea.
I'm always complaining.
No, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do personally like it.
Seems like we'll be here for a while.
I'm not gonna get copyrighted. Tell me what the hell. Because I've spoken to the band. I spoke to the band like last year, and they let me use their music. What the hell, Kazoo? Respect. No. Oh. Very. Yeah, maybe that's why I like it, because I do like anime opening music. So maybe that's a thing. I like it's giving me the pop punk vibe, and I like those bands like Blink-182, Bowling for Soup, Green Day, Sum 41, don't know if I said them, Busted, McFly. I like lots of those. Yeah, Rooney has got a massive hard-on for Foden, and I love that. I love that. So Fairs, damn Jack, what the hell? Yeah, he's a big fan, which is good. What an intro that is. Oh, I love the Beyblade intro. Let's Beyblade. Ow! Like that. Right, we're going to shoot off in a minute, guys. Time Bomb's a banger, yeah. Absolute banger. That is a bop. I think my favourite's By My Side. But I will get this incorporated into the intros. Before we go, guys, like the video. Yeah, we love Sum 41. Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head instead of going under. We are live tonight on Twitch. Oh, Fenway, do you want some money, mate? Fenway, do you want to be a mod, low-key? 9 p.m. tonight. 9 p.m. tonight. We are live on Twitch. Click this link. Go follow the Twitch. There you go. Someone's just done it right now. It's actually bottled my thing. Well done, Rye MCFC. Love that from you. Thank you so much for following the Twitch. Live tonight, 9 p.m. We are doing... Is that too loud? Cork City. Cork City. My goalkeeper, chat, is 5'5". I will repeat. My goalkeeper is 5'5". You go to Ark for following. Love that from you. Arkema, sorry. That's you. Excellent work. Oi. We did get battered 4-1 in our first game. In our first proper game. It's not my fault that my goalkeeper is 5'5". This is English time. So in 5 hours, shout out to the Short Kings, yeah. Dear me. If you can't watch it live, you can always watch it on catch up. Join the Twitch for the most depraved capitalism. But yeah, he's shorter than Bernardo. He's short. Yeah, you can watch the VODs for free. Yes, you can watch the VODs. Just go on Twitch. All the VODs are saved there. If you want to support me directly, you can join the Patreon where you can see the VODs permanently. Twitch does remove them after like a month. So just make sure you catch up before Twitch removes them. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm now going to go see Nana Nobbins. Thank you so much to everyone for joining. Leave a like on the video. It's free. Shout out to all my beautiful members and supporters. I will be... Oh, yeah, I've got 0 transfer budget as well, by the way. I've been given 0 transfer budget. And I have a 5'5" goalkeeper. And I'm Cork City. And we just got relegated. We just got promoted. We're a newly promoted side. It's like I'm playing it on the worst difficulty ever. And I'm shit at Football Manager. BT dubs. And I'm shit at it. You've only got one stream to catch up on. Don't worry, mate. Feel free to go watch it now. It's on the Twitch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Big ups to everyone. I'll catch you all tonight, 9 p.m. English time for the Twitch.